I want to go there. And I just, if there's any message you can give to anyone who is, again, seeking validation from outside, who is unfortunately giving the power to the wrong person. And when I say power, I mean the power of you and all of you. Like, you're handing that key over to the wrong person, or you're just people, and you're not holding on for yourself. Any message for that person? Do all that.
Okay.
Why, are you nervous?
No, it's
been a while?
It's been a while. And I want to take the breath to let everything flow the way it needs to flow today. And whatever needs to be said, let it be said. If it doesn't get said, it wasn't supposed to get said.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, say all that then. You can lead the breath.
Okay. Okay, I just want to set my intentions for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My intentions are for the conversation to flow, the conversation to reach the right ears. Let the things that need to be said be said. Let the things that need to stay silent. Let the energy flow. Let it be therapeutic and open and honest and clear. And let us breathe so that we have no nerves and no shakiness happening here. Ready?
One more.
Two more.
Two more through the gut, though, this time. Here we go.
One more. Okay.
And one more to add to all that beautifulness. I want everyone to know that you are exactly where you need to be in your life right now. So,
thank you.
For everyone listening or watching, just remember, you are exactly where you need to be right now. Okay. On that note,
We're here.
Beautiful people, welcome back to another episode of Who Can Relate.
Who can relate?
I have my second repeat guest, I think, on the show.
We all want to come back.
We all want to come back. I appreciate that.
We're here.
Sarah, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
To the show.
Thank
of course,
you
thank you for being here. If she looks familiar, Sarah was on, I think, the 9th episode titled Me First. And that's actually a perfect correlation to what we're going to be talking about today, because you definitely did some me first shit recently.
Yes.
Which is dope.
Lots of me first.
Yeah. But before we really get rolling, I know you're off this high right now. Yesterday was an amazing day for you.
It was.
Talk your shit. That's your camera.
This is my camera right here. Okay.
The pink joint. Do your thing.
Oh, man. Yesterday was big. Yesterday, can I talk to you? Can I
you
talk
talk
a little bit to both? Okay.
Both. We're here.
Yesterday was the first shoot for my brand that felt like everything was exactly the way it was supposed to be.
And remind the people of your brand again.
Okay. My brand is Levon Collections.
Look at the smile. If you guys are watching, even if you're listening, you can hear the smile. Go ahead.
Levon has been running for probably over 4 years now. And it's taken a long time. I know 4 years isn't that long, but it still feels like the beginning, you know, because the manufacturing process, all this number stuff, and the business side of clothing, right? Because there's the creativity side, which is why I got into it. And then I found out I had to do like spreadsheets and taxes and shit. And it just got really uncomfortable. And it ended up getting really stressful. And of course that takes away from the joy of the creation process. And it was kind of heartbreaking because I knew what these clothes did for people. And I was like, damn, the math and the business and the taxes is what's going to make me quit, you know? And I was like, I can't.
Not going out like that.
I can't quit. I definitely had times where I was like, I'm done. It's over. And I'm done. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, yeah, all right, Sarah, like, get up.
I think one of those times you were on the phone.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. I think we spoke like the day after where I was like, I don't know, man. This might not be for me. But so this shoot was amazing. I actually started creating it and manifesting it in Costa Rica. And I remember I had no idea what I was going to do with Levon, which is why part of why I left. And I know we'll talk more about that. But I had the moment right after like a month and a half of being there where I like shot out of bed and I was like, vision coming through right now. Where's my notebook? Let's go.
That's the best.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Best,
and I started like, I want this model here. I know she's expensive and shoots for like Versace, but I want her there. And I don't know if it's going to work, but like she's going to be there. And then this model, and I want this photographer, and the pieces are going to be perfect, and the manufacturer is going to be on time. And you know, I just started planning the colors and the people and the vibe. And, you know, on top of a clothing brand, we have a message. We have a message and a certain lifestyle that we want people to live. And it's not about big butts and nice cars lifestyle. It's taking care of yourself, choosing yourself, putting things in and on your body that make you love yourself, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. What are you putting inside of yourself? What are you letting touch your body?
Yeah.
And it all comes from that. So when I have a vision of what something should look like and it's just not coming out that way because I'm not the seamstress, you know, it was really difficult. So finally found my people that got it all right. And it just looked like real high quality stuff, you know? So it was a game changer.
And it drops tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
I'm like, what day is it again? Yes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
Very exciting.
Make sure everything's in the show notes. The Instagram handle's been popping up. And the website, is it all good?
It will be up and running on this day.
That'll be all included. And I've said this before. I actually think you gifted Shay with this color of leggings.
Yes.
They look familiar.
This is the bodysuit, but yes, she has the leggings.
Yeah, and it is, as I titled it in the story, I was like, it's like butter.
Vegan butter.
Yes, there you go.
Vegan butter.
Vegan butter. It's so soft. There's no cap. I'm just like, I'm so amazed by the quality because you can tell like it's thought out. It's
and
not
how she
just,
feels, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's the best part for me.
I think you said before too, like you talked about how it's supposed to, you're supposed to feel loved, but it like hugs you in the best way possible. And I mean, the brand is called Love On, and you have love on you.
Love on your body.
And it's amazing. So make sure you guys check all that out. Ladies, you're going to be in for a treat. Pleasantly.
And men, if you have a girlfriend.
Oh, for sure.
You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. That's the come up.
You're welcome.
And I thought you meant men because I'm waiting for the men's line.
I know.
What's good?
They all want it, Come
on now.
I'm worried about my ladies right now.
Okay, so you touched briefly on, and I guess for everyone, the overall umbrella of today's episode is, well, I think flow is our word today.
Flow is a good word.
Flow is our word today.
Flow is where I'm at.
And the last time you were on, we talked about how you used to run a lot of times from your problems and try to escape, and you physically moved from city to city, trying to fix the problems, only to realize that the problems probably met you at that front door of whatever city you had moved to. Like, surprise, like, I'm here, not going anywhere. And I remember when you were saying you were going to move to Costa Rica, I was like, damn, like, real talk, Sarah, I've never told you this. My first thought out of like love and care as a friend was like, are you good? Like, I want to make sure you're not running. You know what I mean? I was like, we also talked about this. Like,
we talked about this,
and we
Sarah.
recorded it. So like, you need me to remind you? Yeah, I can play it back. But that was my first thought. But then I think we were exchanging voice notes and hearing the joy. And also the word I use is clarity. You had so much clarity in your decision, which is great. And it didn't seem impulsive. It didn't seem knee jerk. It didn't seem like you were running, which is beautiful. But if you can walk everyone through your reasoning, decision making into moving from San Diego to Costa Rica, and what was kind of going on in your life.
Okay. I actually went to visit Costa Rica randomly with a friend like in February, and it was the specific area in Costa Rica that is known for its healing and spirituality and just like really powerful stuff over there. And I was there for 1 week, and I felt that feeling where I was like, I think I need to be here for a little longer. So I was actually going to stay.
Okay.
Called my mom. I was like, I'm going to just stay put. And she was like, you have a dog at home. Yeah. You have an apartment. You have a car. You have a company. I was like, fuck, you're right. So I went home and I just delegated and packed my stuff and, my neighbor took care of my dog and whatever needed to be done. And I got on a plane, and I didn't know, I planned on staying for a few months at least. I'm really grateful that everything was taken care of. And that was part of it too. It was so seamless to get there. It was so easy.
Which is a sign.
Exactly. Because nothing was forced.
Right.
The manufacturer, the woman I work with, she was like, it's handled, go, and I was like, awesome. The dog, my neighbor was like, go. Like someone took over my apartment, go. Yeah. So I got there, and the entire time, I set my intentions of what I wanted to get done mentally, emotionally. And a big intention was like pleasure, eat what you want to eat, swim when you want to swim, starfish in the sand for 6 hours and feel like you were productive, and ride the horses, ride the ATVs, like get caught in the rain, like corny stuff, I know, but like not really. It was medicine.
Healing. Yeah.
It was healing. It was so medicinal. I met the most incredible people. Healing conversations with new friends. You know what I mean? Like, because this specific place is such a spiritual land, people go there for that purpose. Sure. So when you meet them, you both have the same intentions, right? And the conversations are just much more raw than what you would have in LA. Yeah.
Sure.
And everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. And within, the second month there, I was already like, wow, every intention has been met. Every single one and more. Because I didn't know what type of people I was going to meet. I was going solo. Sure. I was going solo. I was like, maybe I'm going to be alone this whole time. I don't know. But I did have the intention to connect. Connection was one of my biggest intentions. Because during this stressful time, like, I was having a hard time talking to people. I was having a really hard time conversing and sharing energy, and small talk made me want to rip my eyeballs out. So I was like, I need to connect with people. Like, I'm a woman that loves conversation and inspiration and friendship, and it was like missing in my life because I was so stressed about Levon, and it was all met. And then, the trip got cut short. It was supposed to be either living there or 3 months, but I was so juiced up. I was so inspired, and I was like, I'm coming, Levon. I'm coming, baby. And I came home and put it all into production, and everything flowed. And then the shoot yesterday was like that victory moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was like I got what I needed.
So I want to try to put myself in the shoes of the audience, into the mind of the audience. Okay. And I know right now they're thinking, must be nice, right, or okay, cool. You're like, I'm supposed to just pack up and go kind of thing, right? But everyone's situation is different. Right. And, some people are in more of a, I have to be here situation, tied up, whatever the case is. But I want to go more towards not so much like you chose Costa Rica and you chose to starfish in the sand for 6 hours. All that's, I want to go more so as to like, what were you going through? Because that's more the relatable piece of it that made you be like, you know what, I need to go. Because like I said, this time you weren't running. You knew it was an intentional decision. It was an intentional leap. And what were you kind of going through that made you, that got you to that point?
I think the itch was missing creativity. And I'm such a creative person that I feel off when I have nothing coming through. When I have no visions or no inspiration or no passion, like I'm thriving when I'm excited for something and creating something, whether it's a song or a piece of clothing or whatever the case is, like, or an event, whatever. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I am in my power. Like, if you ask me when Sarah's in her power, it's when she's creative. But it's almost like dangerous if I'm not, because I feel empty and useless. Sure. And sad, And, Levon is all creativity, all of it. Marketing it is all creativity, So I think that was the biggest piece for me, was like, I'm feeling so low and I don't know what to give this thing that needs all of my love and creativity. And I guess, on top of that, like, still feeling like there were certain people missing from my life. Like, I did want love. I did want a person. And I knew that with this emptiness that I was feeling, or like not having the answers, like that, it wasn't going to come that way. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to mess with somebody that like has no juice and no fuel and no excitement, and you can't even hold a conversation or get to know somebody. Yeah. So yeah, there was these things that I just needed. I needed inspiration, and I needed healing.
I mean, I guess I'll break it down to two different audience members right now, the ones that can hypothetically, technically pick up and go. I think it's super courageous and absolutely beautiful that you were like, what the hell, why not kind of thing. You know, like you can always come back, you know, and I know there's a lot of people who are thinking that they can't, but again,
it's priorities.
But they maybe can.
Right.
It's
there
just
are
they're
people with
scared.
strings.
Yeah.
There's the fear, but there's a lot of strings, right?
Right,
you
right.
have kids, you have a full-time
Sure,
job.
sure.
Whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And I'm super blessed, but I designed this life to have no attachments and no strings. I choose to be detached from material, from people,
Right.
from situations. And my priority lies within nothing but my healing and creating a life of my dreams and financial freedom.
Yeah.
So like we've talked about this before, where like I don't spend money on the random stuff that most people spend money on.
Sure.
And I choose to have like one pair of plastic flip-flops and like put all of my money into my company and into things like travel.
Yeah.
You know, and it's never without purpose.
Sure.
So because I was a single woman, I have no kids, you know, I do run this business. I get to choose how it moves. I was in the position. And yes, like this money that I spent on Costa Rica was money that was like, I was holding on to dear life for it for production.
Yeah.
But I was like, the production will be trash if I don't do this for myself and I don't find the problem. Right. So I put the money into the trip and I got it. It's all coming back already. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have happened this way if I just blindly like, here, take the money, start production because I need pieces.
Right.
But it's like, nah, that's not what it needed.
So how long would you say, and then I'll get to the other side of the audience member, which is the strings attached, maybe kids, married, etc. How long would you say this all had to take to get to the point of, you know what, financially I'm stable enough to move, emotionally, mentally I'm stable enough to move, and based on technically responsibilities, you can move. What if you could just give us like a ballpark time frame of what that needed to get to, okay, I can move?
My specific position was that the money was sitting there for production.
Okay.
So like I had the money already and it was like, it's going to get messed up if I just throw it at the manufacturer without having the foundation and the answers and the vision. Yeah. Okay. And there was still a sampling process that was going to take another couple months.
Anyways. Okay.
So this money was going to be sitting there,
right?
You know, that I had made from my last production that we needed more stuff. People are waiting in line, you know, everything says sold out. What the hell is going on, Sarah? You know, and it was like, it's not ready. And I kept having to move manufacturers and whatever. Yeah. So I was like, I know that if I put this money into my healing and what I need for myself and the creative juices, and a woman cannot flourish and thrive when she is not feeling pleasure in some way, shape, or form in her life. So if you are working full time and you are not giving yourself any self-care days, you are not experiencing joy and that passion. It's not just me. I'm not like a special woman who's passionate. There is a passion inside the female body that is like really, really special. And it's the thing that catapults your journey and creates like the passionate moments, you know? So you have to give yourself that. And I wasn't giving myself that. I'm a Capricorn. And if you know anything about Capricorns, it's like, can't take a break, can't do anything other than work, you know? And even when I do, I'm like counting the seconds till I can go back to figuring out what I got to figure out. Yeah. So the intention was like, just feel good for yourself, you know? Yeah. And, I truly believe that. I truly believe that that's the answer for people, for women specifically, all of us. But, you know, I focus a lot on women empowerment and all of that. Yeah. And that was what I needed. Yeah. That was what I needed.
And that's going to be the takeaway for the other audience member who's tied up in some way, shape, or form. It's like, still be true to what you know deep down you need.
Right.
And try to find a way to figure it out.
You can do stuff that costs no money, that doesn't take away from your 9 to 5 or your strings. It's just about setting your priorities. Yeah. If you need to wake up earlier and that's a complaint for you, then I don't feel bad for you. You know what I mean? Like we all make the time.
Yes,
we all make the time. Exactly. And if you're getting home and starting to play video games or smoke a joint or something like kind of like empty, but you don't have the time, it's like, come on, you can totally do something else. Yep. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like buy a little paint kit, like just get juices flowing. You're not an artist, you're not a painter, fine. Like it's literally scientifically proven that something like painting, even if it's not your area, is meditative. You know? So there are things you can do, a walk that you can take that you never would have taken, a different route, whatever the case is.
Yeah, I mean, if it's important to you, you find a way.
Right.
You figure it out. If not, you find an excuse.
Right.
And you continue to make the excuses.
100%. And I had all the excuses in the world. So like I can talk about this. I promise you I had all the excuses in the world. I have no money. I'm a mess. I'm unhealthy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It always happens to me. Like I had so many, you know.
But again, it's beautiful that you were first and foremost aware of what you said. You needed that pleasure. It just wasn't happening anymore. For whatever rhyme or reason, it just wasn't coming to you. And you listened to it. You put together a plan of action intentionally, and you did that. Like so many people just talk about it. So many people forget even before the talking step, they fantasize about it. Anyone listening or watching right now is like, God, how nice would it be? And it's like,
fantasy. Hell yeah.
And I know what kind of work you were doing internally and spiritually for yourself while you were there. So it's not like you were just doing starfish in the sand for 6 hours, you know, every single day because you felt like it. You were so intentional with the work and with the healing process. I know you were talking about how you had a rejection with your body chemically. And if you just want to share that and what was going on. And
ooh, okay. Yeah, this was, interestingly enough, one of my intentions, one of the things that I was going through physically was major skin problems. And this is hard for me to talk about because I get messages all day of people complimenting my skin. It's one of the biggest compliments that I get and questions that I get. What do you do for your skin? You are always fucking glowing. What the hell? You know? And I never answered these questions because I was like, yeah, but y'all can't see like what I'm hiding.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? And there was this specific thing going on like on the side of my face that I was able to hide because I have amazing, gorgeous big hair. And I did naturally glow because of what I ate, but there was something going on and I was like, oh my God, I have the most healthy lifestyle. What is going on? Why do I have cystic acne? Like, this is crazy. And then on top of that, I had a hard time breathing big, and I'm a meditator and a breather and a yogi. So there was like, I always felt like something paused when I wanted to take that deep breath. Yeah. And on top of that, I had like memory issues.
Wow.
Where like just crazy times where it was like embarrassing to tell people like what I had forgotten because it was 2 seconds before or whatever the case was. Like really heavy memory loss. And I'm 26, 27. You know what I mean? When I first started noting this, I'm 27 now. But and anyway, in Costa Rica, one of my intentions going there was like, my skin is going to be healed. And I don't know how. I don't know if it's going to be the coconuts or the sun or what.
Or both.
But like, I'm ready, you know? And instead of it being the coconuts and the sun, it actually got worse my first couple weeks there. Like, so brutal to the point where I had to just surrender and like put my hair up and
let it breathe.
Just live my life anyway. Because I normally would have not left the house at the level it was at.
Wow.
And literally the next morning, scrolling through whatever I was scrolling through, I don't even think it was Instagram, and I came across an article of a young woman about my age, I think she was 28, talking about breast implant illness. And I was like, what? You know? And the reason it caught my eye was because there was a before and after photo of her acne.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a second, you're telling me that like my implants could be the reason that this is going on for me? And obviously like it makes sense, right? Like something that I couldn't even think of. Sure. I thought it was the products I was using or I needed something major, you know? Yeah. So I read deeper into it. There's an entire community of like hundreds and thousands, probably millions of women that have gotten their implants removed. Wow. Talking about the memory loss, talking about the skin. Wow. You know, talking about the breath. And there were some women that had it way worse, some other symptoms. And I'm grateful that it wasn't something that like other people really noticed. But I was like, damn, memory loss and cystic acne and like no answers for it. What the hell? Sure. You know? And I literally booked the surgery the next week. Wow. Mind you, this is when I'm in Costa Rica, frolicking and living my best life. I had no intention of getting a surgery while I'm here. Sure. You know, but thank God, like, they have some of the best doctors in the world in Costa Rica. Yeah. And, you know, I was on this little secluded island. I had to fly to San Jose and figure it out. But it was the best thing I ever did for myself. And it's true. I read a lot of women's articles talking about the second they got out of surgery, like fully breathing. You know what I mean? Wow. So it was like, wow, I felt that. I felt that moment. And like just different clarity in my mind for sure. That was another thing women talks about, like fogginess and spazzy stuff, you know? Yeah. So like fully feeling that. And it's been 7 weeks since my surgery and my skin has completely cleared up. And that was like, what a gift.
Wow.
You know?
How incredible to.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, like you said, I'm sure you thought of a million things or reasons
Oh my God.
It must be this, it must be that.
And women know what skin does to your mental and your emotional. It is extremely painful.
Sure. Like you said, painful. Crippling, and I can really only imagine. Wow. Well, good for you that you were able to get it taken care of, put your finger on it, like what was the root of it, and wow.
Right. And I had to detach myself from what may happen after the surgery, because you don't know if that's really it, right?
Sure.
Emotionally, my heart knew that it was it, but it wasn't. Like, if it wasn't, that would have been heartbreaking. And then I went through thousands of dollars and weeks of pain and whatever.
The same problem.
So I detached from what that might look like. And I was like, either way, I don't want foreign shit in my body.
Yes.
You know, either way, I don't want something foreign inside of me. And is it okay for you to? Absolutely. There are so many women that have no problems whatsoever, and that's incredible.
Sure.
But I was feeling like it didn't work for me anymore. It served its purpose when I was in my early 20s, and it helped my confidence. And now I was like, I don't need that anymore. Yeah. And I'd love to be a little more petite, you know? So I was like, I feel good. I feel light.
Yeah.
One of my fears before getting the surgery was, and it was fleeting because I feel very good about who I am today and what I look like and all of that. But I had the moment of like, am I going to be less attractive?
Right.
You know, and one of the things about me that everyone talks about is Sarah's body. It's just a conversation, and I'm aware of it. You know, I think every woman is aware of what people look at about her. Sure. And there was that moment where it was like, am I going to lose some of my sauce? You know? And then it was like, no, I don't think your sauce comes down to the size of your boobs. Right. Yeah, so, and either way, I was like, they're heavy. They're heavy. And I want to be light. And also, you know, I don't make love with somebody that doesn't love me today. So if someone who's in bed with me is going to have an issue with my downsize, I mean, it's not the person.
I was going to say,
right? So like,
it tells you everything.
It tells me everything. Yeah. But when I was younger, that was the fear, right? Like, someone's not going to love me, or I'm not going to be sexy enough, or whatever the case is. And
if you don't mind me asking, is that why you got them in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was 20, and I wanted to be perkier and sexier, and I guess I thought I wasn't enough of that, you know, and that totally wasn't the case. Yeah. When I look at my pictures before the surgery, like, I was great. I was a beauty, you know, and like, I wish I could talk to her. I wish I could talk to her. Well,
let's talk to her right now, as a matter of fact, because I'm sure someone can relate to you. What would you say? What would the conversation be? What would it look like?
You know, of course, there's the whole piece of like, honey, you're enough. You're enough. Yeah. And you're so beautiful. And like, this isn't going to make you more or less beautiful or anything. It's not going to change. It's maybe your mental will change. Okay. But it's deeper than that. And it's also like, careful, because you're about to put your body through some shit for the next 7 years, you know? Yeah. Your body, when you put an implant in your body, it's designed to reject it. It's designed to reject a foreign object.
And it's fighting constantly to still reject it.
It's not just like 6 to 8 weeks before you know, it's the rest of your life. Your body has something in it that it's not used to. And you will experience like hormonal changes, whether you have those symptoms or not. You will experience hormonal changes. Wow. You know, and we got birth control. We got enough that messes with our hormones. And I dealt with hormonal stuff heavily, like without those implants. So it was like, I wish I could sit with her and be like, you do not want to do this to yourself. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know, and I was also out of shape at this point in my life, and I wasn't taking as good care of myself. I wasn't eating healthy. I wanted to so bad, you know, but I was still a little bit of a mess. And I thought that was my answer.
Quick fix.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I appreciate you sharing that. That's going to help out people who needed to hear it. Right. And, you know, if anyone is kind of contemplating putting some type of foreign object in your body, or even more so just feeling not enough, feeling like you need an extra boost or another thing to get attention or to get time with someone, you know.
A lot of it is women wanting it for themselves. I understand that. There is definitely a conversation around any type of alteration to your body or your face.
Sure.
Because there are confident women that get lip fillers or whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there is a level of it being totally okay. Mm-hmm. But my rules are like, stay in your lane. Don't try to look like somebody else. Yeah. And make sure that you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And yes, do your research on how healthy this thing is in your body. I think a lot of girls go and get shots or whatever the case is, and they have no idea what are the ingredients in this product, and that's scary. Mm-hmm. You know, like you know what the outcome is, so like, wow, so exciting, so amazing. Yeah. But like, what is it going to do to you in the following weeks and years,
long term?
You know.
Yeah.
So stick to who you are and make sure it's for yourself. Yeah. Because if it's for anybody else, you're going to hate yourself even more.
Right. And have resentment.
Well,
thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. And I also want to talk about something else that was very unexpected during your time in Costa Rica. One of your intentions and one of the things you manifested, but still very unexpected.
Yeah, this connection intention, I more so was feeling it for women and friends and, you know, just wanting to connect with humans. And most people know that I've been single for a significant amount of time. And I met somebody in Costa Rica. And it was the sweetest situation I've ever experienced in my life. And on top of who this person was, just who they were, you know, in their heart and soul and everything that they were. We were also in like magic La La Land.
Of course.
You know, like
paradise.
Literally paradise. Like, if I gave you details, like, it's insane. You feel like you're in another world. You feel like you're in a movie, you know, the cleanliness of this island and the sustainability has everything like greener and brighter and juicier than any other place in the world. So it's like everything was heightened. Everything was heightened. And where do I go with this? God, there's just so much to say. It was extremely unexpected. And I think the best thing about this situation was this was my first time having feelings for somebody as this new Sarah, as this new woman, as somebody that felt like fully ready to be a partner and to be everything that a man could ever want, you know? And I got to step into that and see what I would be like as a partner, as a girlfriend, as whatever the case is. I don't like to use words like that because I don't believe in like traditional monogamy, but I do believe that everything that I have learned, everything that I have done for my healing, contributed to this incredible experience with this person. And, you know, he was there for the same reasons as far as, you know, trying to figure it out. And it was so unexpected. This was a friend at first, and all of a sudden I was like, I think I love you.
Wow.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
It was magic La La Land. So the love was flourishing quickly. The ease was magic, and the connection was like friendship first, which was the best part. It was so easeful. It felt like I knew this person my whole life, and I really never experienced anything like it. I really never did.
I want to go into how beautiful, you touched on it, but how beautiful this type of relationship is now. Like you said, like you being you today versus you even last year, let alone 3, 4, 5 years from now. And for anyone who hasn't experienced that yet, for anyone who's in the work as we speak, like knee deep in it, doing everything they need to do to become the best versions of themselves at that particular time, to find love because they're seeking for it. How incredible was that feeling of like, I love who I am. I love who I'm with. I love where we're at. And this was all worth it.
It was all worth it. Yes, that feeling is everything. So it is important to touch on like, don't stop trying to love yourself. Don't stop. I think the best part for me, there were so many best parts, but automatically being unattached, because I think some people like find that love and then it's like everything is out the window and I'm melting into you and we are one and I am yours and you are mine and you're not going anywhere. It's not how I move.
Okay.
I need space. I need freedom, and vice versa. Like, I want a free man. I don't want a man who needs me on his side all the time.
For
and
sure.
all of that. I don't like that. So this was a man that was so free, like the same essence in masculine form. And it was the most beautiful thing to witness because we liked watching each other from across the room talking to the opposite sex. You know what I mean? Just because we trusted each other, and it was beautiful to see that we can connect with others, and the way that women looked at him and the way that men looked at me, and it's like, we loved it. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was just allowing each other to be individuals.
Sure.
So detaching from the love, but simultaneously melting into it, is the secret sauce. As if it doesn't work out, it's okay. This moment is beautiful. And also not like, okay, we're together now and we're going to travel the world together, or when we go home, we're getting married and moving in together. No.
Yeah.
And also see what this looks like, because this would be my first time getting to practice the type of relationship that I want.
Exactly.
And it's not a relationship I've ever known. It's not a relationship I've ever seen anybody else do. So it's like trying to figure out, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Right.
What does it feel like?
Right. And we have to talk about that. What does it look like for you? Because he also had the same fears of like, women don't want you to be free. They want you to be yours. They want you. It's all about ownership in this world that we live in, and monogamy. It's all about ownership. And I don't play that, you know?
Yeah.
So just being on the same page together, you know, and hearing him, and to have him thank me for healing in this time and space that we shared, it was like, wow, so this is who I would be as a partner. This is what I would offer my man. This is what I would pour into him and help him grow and heal, and vice versa, because he did the same for me.
But knowing that you both were in that particular place in your life at that time, to be able to do that, though, to be that version of yourself to him, or to be that version of himself to you, that's just like, I think it's rare. I think it's extremely rare. I mean, we all can, you know, hype ourselves up to think that we're in it now, doing it now, you know, but I can feel it. I remember hearing about it and just being like, wow, like how beautiful is that to know that all the work has paid off, continues to pay off. You found the right person at the right time, which is extremely rare, because it's usually one or the other, right person, wrong time, or vice versa. And for you to be fully equipped with any and all things necessary to make this work.
And the right time is still a little iffy, because this isn't like Sarah has a boyfriend now or anything, or Sarah's getting married. It was the right time at this time in Costa Rica. And that's why the unattached feeling was very important, because we do live in other states, in different states. It felt okay for us to be like, okay, I'm going home, you're going home. Thank you for this special time.
Yeah.
And when it's right, we'll either travel together or live together, or whatever that looks like for two people that want their individuality.
Sure.
You know, but like, we know the love is there, and nothing bad happened, and we're just grateful for the lessons.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. But yeah, there was no locked in anything, and so that felt good for me.
How did you know not to force that? Because myself, and I'm sure most people listening are thinking, but how can you just let that go so freely? Like, you finally found what you've manifested and wanted and desired, and only for you to watch it leave, and you're waving goodbye on some, like, if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Right.
How do you have that self-control or faith, I guess, even?
It's the art of letting go. It's the art of detachment, you know? And I think the most important detachment is with human beings. Okay. Because if you're attached to anybody, that means that if it doesn't work or they disappoint you, you get thrown off your healing journey. You get thrown off your vision and your goal. Yeah. And your business could take a hit, and your physical and mental well-being could take a hit just because this person didn't give you what you wanted. It doesn't flow for me. So was it a conversation to be together? Of course. Of course, yeah. It was like, hey, soulmate, like, what's up?
What do we do now?
Yeah, what do we do now? But it made sense for us to just be like, when it's time, it'll be time. Like, right now, I'm not flying back and forth. It's okay. It's okay that this is not where we're at right now. I like this freedom. I like knowing that I found this person. Maybe it won't be him. Maybe it was a time and space, and that's what it was. But I do know I have a friend for life. I do know I have a friend for life and somebody that thinks the sun shines out of my ass, and I've been looking for that. You know what I mean? So whatever comes is what comes. But I understand. Like most people would be like, don't let go. Where are you going?
Right.
I just, you know.
Yeah.
But nah, I'm so good. And that's the thing is like when you meet this person, if you're really good with yourself and you really did that work, you won't feel desperation. You won't feel like you can't live without him and you can't breathe without him. I hate songs like that. I can't live without you. What are you talking about? If you can't live with somebody, you're in trouble.
It says more about you.
Right. Yeah. So it sounds nice and pretty, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy. And this is how I always saw it.
Yeah.
You know?
But this is so important for everyone because you also aren't seeking for someone to complete you. You're not seeking for someone to validate you. No. You're not seeking to find someone who makes you feel worthy or deserving. You already have all of the above. He was just a bonus. It was just like extra credit. It was just like, this is great. I don't need it, but I want it. You know what I mean? So for you to get to that level of secureness, wholeness, confidence on 10, etc., that is what's most important throughout this whole conversation. As beautiful as this Romeo and Juliet situation was and is, it's great. But it wouldn't have happened had you had not shown up the version of you.
Right.
And that's where I really want to hone in here is like for anyone who's through these consultations that I've been doing, a lot of women come to me and their self-esteem is not where they want it to be. Or, you know, they're like, I'm too selfless. I keep saying no to myself and saying yes to everyone else. I'm realizing I'm seeking validation in a man or a partner. And I don't want that dependency. So that's why it was important for me to have you on, because I know that maybe was you in the past and now it is no longer. And beautifully enough with this, again, Romeo and Juliet story and situation, how you were still, I love myself first and foremost. I want to go there. And I just, if there's any message you can give to anyone who is, again, seeking validation from outside, who is unfortunately giving the power to the wrong person. And when I say power, I mean the power of you and all of you. Like you're handing that key over to the wrong person, or you're just to people, and you're not holding on for yourself. Any message for that person?
Yeah, so many messages in that moment, because I was definitely this person. And I think we talked about it in the last podcast about how I didn't know how to balance love for another and love for myself, because I gave them everything. I gave them all the yeses, and I gave them all my money and time and love and food, like take it all, you know? So I think it comes down to pouring all of that into yourself. And it's like, damn, I'm sure you've heard this so many times, but if you poured in even half of those yeses and half of that time into yourself, you wouldn't be so worried if he called you back. You wouldn't be so worried about all of these things that I see women worry about all the time. And I was one of them. I was one of those women that went wild if I didn't hear back from you, you know? And now I'm like, whatever. Like,
okay. Yeah.
Whatever. You know, but yes, that pouring in part is number one. Where are you pouring? Whose cup are you filling?
Right.
And how empty will you be? How empty will you be when you're pouring all of this into somebody else? And then the second part is truth. Like it all comes down to truth, and like the truth of what are you saying to yourself? How important are your goals and your visions and your healing? Yeah. And I know that every single woman has who she could be in her mind. We all have this woman that has the body that we're waiting to have, that has the job that we're waiting to have, that has the confidence that we're waiting to have. And that's not another woman. That's Sarah. You know, I have a Sarah in my mind that I can actually be. It's totally tangible. She's there, and she's the one that guides me. She coaches me when I'm acting out of pocket or going like she's there, and she's wearing a certain outfit too. You know what I mean? I get real specific. Like, how does she dress? Because she's not barefoot all the time. Like she's got a real strong, powerful woman outfit, you know? Right. She coaches me through. So when you stay truthful about what you want and what's good for you, and is this decision assisting you in getting to be her? Yeah. And you know in your heart if it's assisting you or not. You know in your heart if canceling the meeting to go meet your man who isn't that great to you is good for you. Like stay real truthful. Look at yourself in the mirror before you do something, like drop everything to go fly to somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest lesson here, is just get really real about how much this seeking for validation and all of the above assists you in becoming this potential woman that is totally available to you if you just made some better decisions.
Yeah. I love that. It's so beautiful. And it's so important to really be truthful, honest, and just clear again on what you need first. You know, I often use the analogy of if you were about to take a road trip, one of the first things you would do is gas up or charge up in my case now, but you know, like you would make sure that all systems are go. You don't have every light popping up on the dashboard, change tires, change oil. This is low. This is low. You would make sure you're good. Why don't we do that for ourselves before we enter one of the most important things of our lives, which is sharing ourselves with someone else? We got to make sure we're tidy. We're good. We crossed our T's. We dotted our I's. And back to the seeking validation from others. That's it's a soft spot for me when I talk to these women in particular, because I fear that will be my daughter. And so I see my daughter in a lot of these women when I talk to them, and I help coach them as if I was talking to my precious, perfect, everything little girl, and making sure that she feels enough first. She is filling whatever voids that she has. She is feeling whole. She is feeling beautiful. She is feeling optimal. She's not seeking anything from anyone. Anything that she wants to obtain in life, she can do on her own. It's not like I don't need anyone. It's no, but I want her to be in a position where she has everything she needs and now she wants to share. Not where she needs you to give her what she needs to be able to share. I don't want, that's not the equation here. And so it's, you know, and I need to do a more, I guess, better job of reminding her of these things. But, you know, I have time. I think she's 13.
I think even the fact that you're present is something that's missing heavily in young girls' lives. Like, you're present. You're present, and that's something women don't have. Young girls don't have. Like, yes, not everyone is divorced or their father is MIA, but even the fathers that are physically around aren't fully present and aren't fully committed to making their daughters, or reminding their daughters of who they are and who they should be walking into their womanhood, you know? And I think you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's at the forefront of what I want from myself as a father to her, and what I want from her in the future. And the last thing I want her to feel is not enough, or she doesn't deserve what she desires, or doesn't feel worthy of it. And it's constantly giving her, she doesn't know, but they're affirmations and they're mantras, you know, how she just thinks I repeat myself. But I know one day it'll all make sense. And again, that's what I try to help anyone with. But again, right now we're talking about women, because it's so important that you're pouring from a full cup, not an empty cup.
The one thing that helped me get to my no's and yeses that were honest was my commitment to truth. It comes down to commitment to truth. So it's not about the big truths and making sure, you know, you tell this person whatever you're thinking about them or whatever the case is. It's not even about anything enormous. It's about, is it true that, yes, you're free tonight? Is that true? I have free time, but I actually really need to relax and not speak to anybody and drink a cup of tea and look at the wall. You know what I mean? So people think that, you know, it's better to say, yes, you can come, instead of just what the truth is. It's just like, I actually need to chill, or actually that doesn't serve me because tomorrow morning I have to be up and alert, and going out with you tonight is actually not the healthiest thing for me. There's a way to talk purely without sugarcoating and without hurting somebody's feelings. And just saying what you need for yourself. And I don't want to say I've mastered that, but it's become one of my favorite things ever, because you're helping somebody else grow in that moment. You are teaching them about communication and about truth, and also about receiving a no. Which we all need to also work on. You know? For sure.
I was going to add respect for yourself. Like, if you're going to say no to me, and you have, obviously, you know, I need to get up in the morning, whatever. I'm like, wow, I love that you have so much respect for yourself, and you can be truthful and honest within yourself.
Oh my God, that's my favorite part. And I only have people in my life today that It's both of us do that.
Can receive
it's
that.
It's a no for me today.
Yeah,
my
for
love.
sure. And no worries.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody gets hurt because every person that I choose in my life is dedicated to personal growth. If you're not dedicated to personal growth, like I will love you and give you a hug, but you're not going to be in my circle.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Because how are you energy?
Right. Yeah. How are you going to understand me? We don't speak the same language.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this is my life.
Yeah.
This is my life. So if you're not on that wave,
no worries.
Bless your soul. But like you can't have my cell phone number because you'll get mad at me if I don't text you back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The other thing too with that is, you know, we're so in our head about the hypothetical of, well, if I say no, what will happen? Right. Like that fear of saying no to that person, like, will they leave me? Will they not like me anymore? Will they find someone else who will continue to say yes? It's like, first of all, let them go if this is the person that will show up to you when you say no to them.
Right.
But I think a lot of times our fear of just saying no is not ever gonna come to fruition. Most of the time it's just in our own head and we're thinking worst case scenario.
100%.
But I talk about this a lot because I know Shay kind of goes through that. She has a hard time saying no to people. She's such a pleasing, loving, caring, overextending person. And now I know her so well that I don't even ask anymore because I know she's going to say yes, but I know she shouldn't say yes. She should say no because she has to work or she has to do whatever she needs to do. So I now know I don't even ask. Right. And I'd rather deal with the like, love, you should just ask me. And I would be like, okay, now I know kind of thing. But I know you. I know you can't say no to me and bless your heart. So I won't even ask, you know, but it's just that level of understanding and respect that we have as partners, which takes time for sure, but it just takes awareness
knowing
as
what
well.
serves your partner.
Exactly.
If this question that you want a yes to, but you know it's not going to actually be good for her, like you don't need to ask.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's the thing too. And I also want people to, if you are fearful of saying no to, let's say your partner in this specific situation, to me, maybe this is controversial, but I just question if it's the wrong partner. I mean, low key, because you're like, if it's the right partner, either A, they wouldn't ask, or B, they would know that if you say no, it's okay. I know it's not, I'm not going to take it personal. I know it's no, you know, you don't love me enough. You don't care about me enough. It could just be like, you respect and love yourself so much that you know what you have to do now in order to give me the best version again of you. Right. So to me, if it's like you're so worried about that person leaving you, maybe that's not your person 100%. Though.
100%. And there's so many people that are in a relationship that they don't want to be in and that it's not serving their highest good. There's so many people. And I pray that those people find the courage to walk away. I really do, because it's one of the hardest things, especially when it's been a long-term relationship and you have strings and you got bills together and you got homes together, whatever the case is. And it's literally just fear of that mess, you know, that's keeping you in this relationship. And you are literally holding yourself back from having any sort of joy in your life because that's always going to be holding you back. Yeah. You know, it's miserable and I've been in it, and I literally pray that no one has to deal with that. It's awful.
Same. And I hope that they can become aware of all this and really be honest and truthful with themselves. Like, is this me? You know, am I in this type of situation? And make the necessary steps.
I feel like the expectations that I've had in the past have always been about like seeing somebody's potential, right? Which I'm sure, I don't know if we've had this conversation before. I don't know, but I was really big on seeing the heart of a man and moments where he was shining. Yeah. And then, but it wasn't his full time.
And holding on to those moments of shine. Though,
right. It wasn't his full time. And because I was in this place of not being able to balance my love and theirs, I was just trying to change them and trying to teach them my love language and better ways to talk to me or not talk to me or, you know, I like thoughtfulness. I like if you come home with a flower that you found at the park, you know, and like constantly having to tell this partner that and him still never doing it. And it's like, what? Like, there's a flower bush outside of our apartment. Can you bring me one day? And then I'm asking for a flower from the bush and screaming about it.
At that point, it's shame on you.
Right. And it's because of like, why do I have to keep asking for thoughtful things? Yeah. And I think it was because it was a time in my life where like there was no money. So it was like, I don't need you to buy me things. It's like, just bring me a freaking flower and
Yeah.
a note with a piece of paper that you ripped from your freaking notebook.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you know, and then I'm getting angry because it's
Yeah.
like, how many times do I have to express to you like the things that make me happy?
Mm-hmm.
And it ends up being these expectations. This is just an example, but it's like, maybe that's not their love language.
Right.
Maybe there is another way that he wants to show appreciation that you're missing, or whatever the case is. Or it's the demanding of it.
Sure.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And never did I intend to demand. It was just the repetition of it turning into demand when I maybe just needed to release the fact that this man wasn't like that.
Yeah.
He wasn't like that, you know?
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
And maybe either you need to figure out a way to live with that, or maybe that's not your person.
That's not
and
my
you need to
person.
let it go. And
Right.
and I think the other thing is allowing certain behavior to continue and certain ways of being treated to continue.
Right. 100%.
I've said often, you know, people treat you how you allow them to. And what you continue, the type of behavior you continue to accept and normalize, at a certain point in time, it's your fault. It is shame on you. You can't even be mad at that person for treating you the same way for 5 years now, because it was all good 4 years and 364 days ago. All of a sudden today it's not, you know? So,
and if there is a person that isn't allowing you to reintroduce yourself, right? Because we all are entitled to change.
Of
We all do
course.
change.
Great
There are some
point.
people that have radical changes and enlightened moments and awakened moments, and they're a whole new person.
yeah.
And then the person that's been around for 5 years is like, all right, guru, like, who the do you think you are?
Yeah.
But like, you really have changed, and this person is used to the old one, you know, that let them do whatever they wanted and was fighting all the time with them. But now you're in a space of like peace and love and trying to grow, and this person isn't allowing that. This person is like, stop, I don't know who this is. Like, you think you're so like grown and enlightened and whatever. That ability to reintroduce yourself to the friends in your life and the partners in your life is imperative. It really is.
Have you ever been in a situation like that? Well, I guess we'll go partner, where you've done a 180 or a 167, whatever. You've worked on yourself, and they just can't see you now for the better you.
100%. Absolutely.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
My most unhealthy relationship that just kept going and going and in and out and up and down. I was always working on myself. So if there was ever a point where we were on a break, whether it was a week or 4 weeks, like I came back and I wanted to be peace and love and growth and open conversations. And this person just saw the old Sarah. Like they only saw the dishonest or the emotionally unstable or whatever the case was. So to them, it looked like a show, or, they clearly hadn't done any work, so they didn't want to meet me there.
Right.
They were like, what is this? Or I would be like, can we have an open and honest conversation, because I just learned about this and I want to,
like, oh no,
like
what
I'm
do you
trying
mean
to,
we need to talk. I'm out.
right.
Yeah.
And this person would be like, what? Like, what do you want from me? You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, like, are you not seeing that I'm trying to like sit in front of you, like human being to human being? I'm not trying to be above you. I'm not trying to be below you. I'm trying to have an open conversation, or whatever I was trying to implement, whatever tool I had in my new toolbox. And they didn't allow it, and I understand. I hurt this person, or they were having an experience of me for these years and like couldn't believe that I would make a switch like that, And this was a person that I ended up just seeking validation from, because I kept having to prove that I've grown. Look at me, I've grown, I've changed, I'm trying to do better. And they would just pull the dark, bad Sarah out again, because they wouldn't allow for it, and they wouldn't open and embrace me with it. You know what I mean? They wouldn't accept it with open arms. They would be like, what is this? Right? So the people in my life today, like, we grow rapidly. Every week we're growing and we're celebrating the growth, and who I was last week isn't who I am today. And we all know that. Who I am yesterday isn't who I am today. So to be allowed to reintroduce yourself, family, friends, partners is everything.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
Oh no. Alrighty. Round of rapid fire questions.
Ooh.
Question number 1.
No, absolutely not.
What's one thing you know you need to do, but maybe you're afraid to do it?
I need to be more open to help with my brand and allowing others to touch my baby.
I hear you. I hear you.
I know a lot of people hear me on this. You know,
it's so hard.
It's really hard. And with the business, there are so many moving parts and pieces. Yeah. And I have worn all the hats aside from the actual sewing, which I actually tried at the beginning to take sewing classes, and I sewed a pillow once. I have a really hard time with letting people in and giving them access, and nobody knows the fact that Lavon is like one of my limbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody really knows that. And whenever anyone gets involved, whether it's for marketing or for manufacturing or whatever, modeling, anything, you know, receiving that assistance is really important, and it's really, really scary. And I've walked into it more recently. I actually had my first beautiful meeting with a female potential partner, which is really exciting. Somebody that's more type A and numbers and spreadsheets, but also a designer. So it's dope. It could be really amazing. And even to just take that meeting, you know, even to just open myself up to possibly having somebody having all the passwords, you know what I mean? And also, you know, take care of design, which is definitely the most like, don't touch my designs and change my patterns. Or if I give you a specific pattern, but you have total control over the process, like that's really scary to me, you know? Yeah. So yeah, just trusting more, and also trusting myself more that I will choose the right people, because I know myself and my brand well enough now that you can't really mess with me, you know, and I'll know your intentions within 3 seconds of sitting down with me.
For sure. That's
trust
how
myself.
Clear you are and everything. Right. Yeah. Well, I can relate to you heavily because I can't even take the meeting right now.
You'll get there.
I have so many people. Thank you so much. Bless all of your hearts. I hear you. I appreciate you. Who are just like, oh, intern, you know, I just want to be a part of it. And how can I help? And don't worry, you know, and I'm like, I don't even know what the word is. I don't know if it's worry. This is my baby, as you said. This is a part of me wholeheartedly. And maybe because it's still new, you're 4 years. I'm, you know, like 8 months, 9 months now. So I don't know.
Had a baby.
I just had a baby. And they're like, go back to work. I'm like, I'm good.
Like, I'm on maternity
I'll live in a
leave.
box. I'm fine. It's totally fine. There's no money coming in. Don't worry about it, you know? But yeah, that's actually, I'm glad you said that, because again, I can relate to you heavily. And I know that the time will come where I have to delegate, where I have to lean on, where I have to accept. And here's the thing. It would only help us individually. I will only be a better husband and father and so on, friend for all these people that I keep saying no to hang out and to do whatever, you know. It's only going to help the ones around me. But for now, it's just like, I hear you. It's just so difficult. So it is. Great answer. Okay. Question number 2. What do you know now that you wish you knew back when?
I talk about truth so much, you know, just because it's like officially one of the core values. And I think I wish I knew how easy it was. I wish I knew that it didn't have to be pulling teeth to tell the truth, you know, and how you receive the truth when you give the truth. Not always, but you invite it more in.
Sure.
And I think if I could sit with myself and be like, you don't have to lie about that. Why are you lying? You know, why are you saying yes when you mean no? Why are you saying no when you mean yes? Because now it's like, it's a muscle. I think truth is a muscle. And I think the more that you force yourself to say it no matter what, even in situations where it's tiny, when it means nothing to a white lie or whatever the case is, to a stranger that doesn't need, whatever. You don't need to give all your details, but just practicing and working on that muscle of like letting only truth come out of your mouth. It's a struggle. We be lying a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
white
we
lies,
don't even realize,
big lies,
right?
It doesn't matter.
We don't even realize that it's like definitely a part of most people's day. So to practice that has really changed the game for me. And I wish I started sooner, you know, but it's amazing what you attract when you take nothing but the truth. And
it's amazing how you feel when you're living in your truth.
So maybe I could have saved myself a lot of pain. I definitely could have saved myself a lot of pain.
Well, it helped shape and mold the person you are today, for 100%. Sure. But
I love her. Love her.
But I hear you.
Yeah.
It could all have been so simple for a lot of different paths. Question number 3, what's one goal you haven't completed yet but want to this year?
Oh, pop-up. Pop-up is a big goal for me.
Yeah.
We actually just had a conversation about it at the shoot, talking about a pop-up in Miami.
Oh, dope.
That could be really cool with a natural skincare collaboration.
Yeah.
And Levon is all about the natural everything.
For sure.
So
that's dope.
that was really cool to think about. And yeah.
Okay, question number 4. If you could create a new law that everybody has to abide by, universally, worldwide, what would it be?
Acceptance of all human beings, regardless of their race and state and stature.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that I get very confused by, that you can judge somebody for the way they were born.
Yeah.
And I struggle with it, and it's a really tough conversation to have. But if there could be a law, it would be that we are all the same.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay, last and final question. I've actually asked you this in the other episode, but maybe it's changed now. Like you said, we're all changing day by day. What does Sarah admire most about Sarah?
I love my hands. I have like really nice.
Okay. Okay.
And my feet. I love my feet.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You know what? I remember I said my resilience.
Yeah.
That was my answer last time.
Mm-hmm.
I think now it's my commitment to radical honesty. I love that about myself because it seeps into every conversation and it helps others, right?
Yeah.
So
totally,
it's a service to others to be truthful. It turns them on to truth and it has them taken aback and gets them thinking.
Yeah.
So I think one of my favorite parts is the truth thing. And it's like to be able to say that today is pretty
powerful.
great.
100%.
Pretty great. So it's my favorite thing because it makes me happy and it releases me of trauma and suppressed emotions and not being authentic. And then it's also my favorite thing because I witness it helping other people, and that's my purpose in life. So
which is amazing.
That's
I love it
for me.
I love it. Well, the last and final segment of the show is my moment to acknowledge my guest. And so when you just said right now, it makes people kind of take a step back and reevaluate, right? And I remember when you were like, I'm moving to Costa Rica, I kind of had a moment of where I stepped back and I was kind of like, wow, like how amazing to just be able to be that free. Like in every essence of that 4-letter word, just free. Like you don't owe anyone anything. You don't have to, like, you could just pick up and go. I knew that you were, again, intentional and like logistics and you had it all planned out, but it was that coupled with Shay and I were watching the Zac Efron Down to Earth thing. So I was like, babe, what the hell are we doing here? Like, we could just go. Let's just go. Like Sarah did it, Zac did it. Let's just roll out. But it really made me think like, wow, like if not now, when? It really made me put things in perspective that I had never really thought of, and also took things out of perspective that I valued too much unnecessarily, and was taking my time and my energy and my focus. And so the acknowledgement part of it is for you. I just really appreciate how free you are within yourself. It's radiant. Like, to say the least, it's like legit radiant. I feel it. Everyone watching will feel it. Everyone listening will feel it. Everyone who's blessed enough to be in your presence can feel it. And we need more like you. We need more of this. We need more of like the truthfulness, to your point. I think that's actually the word, not flow. Well, both, but mainly just like true to yourself. Like not to sound cheesy or cliche, but if it's true that we only live once, what the hell? Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why not? You can always come back. You can always revisit whatever.
Right.
More likely, your job probably will still be there, kind of thing. Like, I think it's where I'm at in my life now, and this is why I think we align so well for so long now. I am one to be very passionate about doing what I love and loving what I do more than ever. And again, when you have something of purpose in life to give, which we all do, and you can recognize it and then actually live with that and give it to people, it's a drug, it's a high that you never felt before. It's a richness that you've never felt before.
Yes.
And I just really appreciate that, again, from you and everyone who puts on any type of article of clothing that you make is blessed. And I can't wait to see everything come out tomorrow and for everyone to get their hands on it. And I just appreciate you. I just like legit and grateful that people like you exist. You represent, thank you. You represent women very well. And it's just an honor, pleasure. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for coming on again. I'm so happy we got to do this. And again, I'll make sure everything is in the show notes for Lavon, and so looking forward to just more growth with it too.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.